Okay, guys, KeyTango is a platform for retail investors to discover and invest in deep DeFi products such as yield farming and liquidity pools. DeFi is growing in an insane space. It's growing hundreds of percentage month over month. As we speak, some people somewhere are becoming what I call crypto rich. But still, 95% of all crypto assets sit idle, generating zero interest. In contrast, just to show you how crazy this is, if you look at the fiat markets, about 93% of Americans have an interest-bearing saving account. The complete opposite. So how do we get this 95% ideal crypto assets into DeFi to generate interest? We believe we do it through a better user experience. As discussed earlier with Camila, DeFi was supposed to be inclusive, but it's the exact opposite. Behind very basic DeFi products, the discovery and investment products are way too complicated for the retail investor. That's the reason this industry is completely dominated by professionals. If you look at the data, you can see that less than 500 wallets hold more than 90% of all DeFi tokens. This is not a very inclusive, welcoming community. We're going to solve this problem. We're making DeFi investment simple for the retail investor. Next time you guys get a friend asking you, how do I get into DeFi? How do I learn about things like liquidity pools? We hope you will send them our way. We'll provide your friend with a Robinhood-like UI that guides them through the DeFi experience all the way from discovery to the final investment. We'll offer them high-yield deep DeFi products. For example, products that are similar to Wire's vaults. This is how we do it. First, we use our network of analysts and DeFi investors in order to find the most attractive DeFi opportunities in real time. After we identify these attractive opportunities, we implement them through smart contracts. These smart contracts are governed by our community through our own governance token. Then we offer these products through a simple UI tailored for the retail investor. Lastly, we are tailor offering specific strategies and products for the right user profiles that fits these strategies. In terms of competitive analysis, there are products out there like Argent and Dharma that offers a very slick, easy UI for investor to invest in relatively simple DeFi products, such as compound finance. But these products usually have returns lower than 10%. In contrast, there are very complicated DeFi protocols such as Curve and Wire. Those can generate hundreds of percentage of interest. But these are typically too hard to discover, understand, and use for a retail investor. KeyTango offers the best of both worlds. We offer an easy platform to invest in high-yield, attractive, deep DeFi opportunities. We are starting with MetaMask users who already use MetaMask, but still don't fully understand concepts like yield farming. We all have this kind of friends. Later, we expand to the broader market of Bitcoin and Ethereum users. Our leadership team is comprised of MIT, Y Combinator, and Enigma alumni. Our first investor, alongside Outlier Ventures, is Guy Ziskin, the CEO of Enigma, with a previous experience of an ICO of $45 million back in 2018. To sum up, the DeFi market is exploding right now. We at KeyTango are solving the biggest missing piece for the DeFi puzzle, retail adoption. This could drive huge sums of money into DeFi. Those 95 ideal assets, 95%. We have a savvy team of crypto veterans and savvy entrepreneurs. If you guys are interested to learn more about our private beta and our governance token, please reach out directly to me at dan@keytango.io. I also want to take advantage of this opportunity to thank the amazing Outlier Venture team and everybody who participates in Diffusion. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dan, for this overview. It was great. These stats are like on fire. So there's quite a bit of things that we need to tackle, but let's start from the community question. So somebody asked a question about how you are planning to aggregate all of these sources in real time.
So there are a few aggregation solutions out there. I really like the approach that YN is taking. I think Instadap also has an interesting angle. They're not aggregating as much as they're reducing transactions using flash loans, but both are very efficient tools to reduce the gas prices, and we plan to do both.
Nice. Thanks for this. I hope this answers the question, and then we have another couple of community questions. So is the beta ready? So talk us through the process. How do we sign for your beta?
Anybody who's interested in the beta, please reach out directly to me at dan@keytango.io, and I'd love to share more privately.
Nice. That's great. And then let us roll back a little bit in the Q&A session, because I think that will be a quite interesting story for everybody. It's like, how did you actually get into crypto first? How did you get to learn about all of these things and then become like a DeFi degen?
Okay, back in 2014, when I was a student in MIT, one of my school friends, Guy Ziskin, introduced me to blockchain and crypto. I later founded the Enigma project, which was a huge project, or still a huge project. I really kind of, from the first minute, I kind of went very bullish on crypto as a mean to improve what's going on in Wall Street. Like, I kind of bought into the entire financial instrument narrative. I felt like crypto and blockchain could do to the financial industry what Uber did to taxis. That was kind of the way I saw it. And when DeFi came along, much later, I became kind of obsessed with it. I kind of fell in love with how this industry and products evolve. It's like a natural progression, and it evolves so quickly. Throughout this process, a lot of smart people invent amazing instruments that really have no precedence. Like I love the automated market making. I want to attribute it to Banco for really putting it into use for the first time. I kind of love the idea of composability. I'm a big fan of Aave and the way they enable flash loans. There's just so much innovation going on in that space, and it's such a natural evolution that's really what drove me into the space.
Nice. That's great. So you've been part of the community for over 5 years now. So I am pretty sure you have noticed all of the challenges. I mean, I've been here for like about 4 years as well. So I had to talk somebody through how to buy an ERC20 and then sell it, and then cash to cash point. it was over 30 steps. It was absolutely ridiculous in terms of user experience. So you mentioned that you're tackling this. So what are some of your main challenges in the space as a new founder?
So getting somebody into crypto, I think, is a major challenge. That there are a lot of people in the industry that are trying to solve this challenge. I don't claim to have like a good answer. What we're really targeting are users who are already in, people who already have a wallet, they already understand transactions. But we feel like there's a big spectrum, and there's a long way between like doing an Ethereum transaction or understanding or knowing what's an ERC20 and doing like yield farming or investing in like set indexes. So we want to kind of bridge that gap through discovery and education. So just to give you like a very quick example, if you want to invest in a liquidity pool, you better know what impermanent loss risk is. Or if you're taking a long or short position, you want to know the underlying token volatility. I feel like those kind of things are really missing from the discovery and education process in DeFi today. And I feel like that's a big issue.
Nice. That's definitely very interesting, and rightfully so, as somebody mentioned in the comments. People first go into crypto through centralized exchanges. This is very true. Are you trying to change this, or are you trying to get these users from centralized exchanges onto DeFi?
I feel like that may be going to change without us, just because the interest and like the DeFi products I feel are more attractive today, both in terms of returns and from like once you win, it's kind of hard to get in, but once you win, the experience is amazing. And like I don't know, Anna, if you experience this, but I get asked by friends all the time, like how do I get into it? So I just wish I had a good place to like send them to. You go there, you spend half an hour, and then you can make informed decisions about investment that are not completely crazy. And that's kind of what we're trying to build.
Nice. That's great. And how do you envision a product? Do you think it's going to be more gamified, or do you think it's going to be a more like a guided process where people are just getting guided into crypto, or are you going to gamify it and make them find stuff out by themselves?
We have an idea for a product that would feel very much like a Wealthfront or an Robinhood, something the retail investor knows how to interact with, but that doesn't feel like a casino. Like it explains what are the products, what are the relevant risks, how do they perform one against another, and we want to tailor specific strategies for specific user profiles. So we're looking at both the risk profile of the investor and also his like crypto savviness, and we want to take him along this journey where he understands more and more, and he could make better, more informed decisions.
Nice. That sounds like very interesting, very very interesting tool. So naturally, here comes the $1 billion question. Really, is like, how do you deal with legislation? Like you mentioned in some of our private conversations that one of your biggest pains right now as a founder is actually legal. Like, are you subjected to any of these, or?
We're not lawyers, so I think that's the biggest challenge. Like, it's not what we like to do and what we want to do, but we want to be, because we're catered to retail, we want to make sure we do things in the most responsible way, and especially in regards to our governance token, who controls these smart contracts, the investment vehicles, basically. So a lot of it is about decentralization and the way the community governs the products to the governance token. But it is a big challenge.
It is definitely. I mean, it's probably like a year worth of processes and lawyer fees. Do you think they do deferred fees? but also it's absolute pain. What are some of the other challenges you're facing as a founder, like in the space? Like we know so many people are trying to make the leap now from corporates into crypto, probably working for a team and then spending a year or two and then creating their own thing. What should they
So,
be bracing themselves for?
I think that if there are founders that want to get into the DeFi space, they should definitely reach out to Outlier Ventures, the best fund in crypto. So that's I'm shilling Outlier Venture, but truly I think that the experience with you guys was amazing, and I hope more founders would share that experience.
Oh, thank you for the kind words. that was great. That was amazing. Thank you. But I don't think you answered my first part. The first part of the question is like what founders should be really bracing themselves for. Like, give us like the inside scoop from like the founder's point of view in crypto.
Yes, I think again it's a very exclusive community, and it takes a while to like understand different like politics of the different stakeholders in the community. But again, I feel like if we set our minds to kind of try and fulfill the original blockchain crypto promise, and in that spirit make the space more inclusive. Even though it's an uphill battle sometimes, I feel like that's really rewarding. So that's kind of my spiel. And the pace of innovation and the pace of like news coming in is quite crazy, specifically in DeFi. So you have to constantly like learn and learn and learn, which is another thing I love about DeFi. Like if you're away for a week, you're not relevant anymore. Like nothing, you know nothing.
Yeah, that was especially true, I think, in the past 2 months, right? So we had Yam live and die within 48 hours. It was absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, but so what's next for KeyTango and for the space in general? Like what where are you going now? What are you gonna do?
So we're launching our private beta, and then we're gonna release our governance token most probably by the end of the year. If anybody interested in either, please contact me at dan@keytango.io. We're laser focused on the discovery and education process to allow retail investors to make this investment decision wisely. And for the entire community, I think there's going to be ups and downs in the industry. But I'm super bullish about it, specifically because of the pace of innovation. I feel like that's a very healthy thing, and it drives fundamental innovation. Like I'm really amazed by the pace of innovation and the amount of really underlying value of super innovative mechanisms, such as AMMs, flash loans using like Ethereum's composability, things like privacy protocols that Enigma is working on. I feel like all of these are just mind-blowing.
Nice, that's great. It's good thing you mentioned privacy actually. I don't think people really appreciate how privacy is going to really play with DeFi. Like, do you think we're going to experience that thing where you have simplicity and convenience versus privacy, and you have to give up one for the other? You think with DeFi we're actually going to achieve some sort of like a nice medium?
I hope there would be no direct trade-off. Privacy sometimes has a trade-off with trust, with the trust model, and with performance. But we've seen, I think, pretty dramatic improvement on that front, both on like MPC technology, zero knowledge proofs, trusted execution environments. I'm very bullish about privacy within blockchain, and I think a lot of people care, and like a lot of the stakeholders care, which is important.
Yeah, that's great to hear. Do you think there's going to be an influx of more founders that are going to be caring a little bit less about privacy as long as they achieve the end goal of their products? Or you think privacy is going to be like one of the goals of creating like new financial system? Because
Yeah, I
what
feel
we're
like
seeing
for
with the early
most products, privacy is an afterthought.
yeah,
Which is okay, but for other protocols and platforms, just like in the earlier days of the ICOs, you had this like Monero and other privacy coins. I feel like there would be such solutions in DeFi, and I'm pretty bullish about them. And I think like one of the things that I love about DeFi is the ability to use many different patches and protocols and products all at once. And I feel like people will figure out privacy as an integral part using specific like private products, like what Enigma is offering.
nice. That was great, Dan. That was amazing. And I guess we have a couple more questions from the community. Is how do you see the advent, or actually the growth of layer 2 solutions in DeFi? Because we now saw that Ethereum pretty much bricked all consumer technology, and DeFi is not necessarily completely stopped, but it's hindered by it definitely, and people experiencing some issues. So are you betting on ETH too? Are you betting on like external solutions coming in and bridging that gap?
Yeah, I feel like in the long term, layer 2 is going to be a big thing, but really we need other solutions immediately. I feel like specifically in DeFi, aggregation is a big thing. So one contract aggregates users' funds, especially for retail consumers, and then this contract implement or execute more complicated strategies. And then the gas cost is shared by everybody else and efficiency goes up. So that's one thing. Flash loans is another thing to like reduce number of transactions. I feel like layer 2 is coming, but it's in a longer time horizon. There's another like competing solution which I think is also coming, which is just alternative chains that still would have like an ecosystem, a DeFi ecosystem. And we're starting to see things like vampire attacks on liquidity of protocols that are within Ethereum that are aimed to steal liquidity out of Ethereum into different blockchains. I feel like that's a really interesting like workaround to improve efficiency, and that's something that I feel bullish about, especially if we find good bridges between different chains that are comparably safe. Specifically solutions like KIPS, MPC for like Bitcoin to Ethereum bridge. I feel like that's an interesting direction. Maybe with like a federated kind of decision making to release the funds. As long as it's safe, I think it's a very interesting direction.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's great. I mean, I do think like we have to solve that scalability issues and the gas fees, because before we do that, nobody's coming in. I mean, if you have to wait for like an hour or two, or more than an hour, like 10 hours or a day even.
I feel like aggregation is the most straightforward way to simple that. You open a smart contract. Let's say you want to invest in like a very sophisticated, complicated vehicle that costs $60 to invest in. Instead, you just transfer your money to this aggregation contract. You just pay for one transaction. Other people do the same. And then this smart contract executes the more complicated strategy, and the gas cost is split between everyone. It's like a very straightforward thing. It's very simple, and many products are taking that direction.
Yeah, definitely. It's a pretty elegant solution. But yeah, hopefully more and more people. I know some of the consumer people, they're building like gas relayers and they're trying to do this, but that's pretty much like 100,000 of internal cost, and you have to hire people just to do this. So it's pretty crazy.
Hey, people will figure it out. It's like a question of time, in my view. But we can't sit and wait. Like, we have to make this accessible for more people. We need to make DeFi more inclusive.
Yeah, absolutely. We need to make DeFi more inclusive. So if you had to give like one or two advices to new founders coming into the space, what would they be?
It's very hard to keep up with the pace of innovation and to really understand what is what and see the differences between all the different products and protocol out there. My advice in that regard is just try to use everything. As long as you can finance the gas fees, try and use everything at least once. You'll get a much better feel for what users feel. And another one is no matter how engaged you are, how knowledgeable you are, just keep the student mentality and try to learn new things every day. I feel like that's something essential in that space.
Yeah, absolutely. Focus and learning new things in a timely manner. These are definitely the two things you need to balance, right? So we're now thank you, Dan. It was a great chat. So now we're coming up to the end of our Q&A. If somebody has questions or wants to join the beta, Dan at KeyTango.io.